sorry. I'm sorry. Operator error. Oh my goodness. I did not realize I had a web window open with Livestream on it. So I'm getting my own feedback. So sorry. Operator error. All right, please forgive us. We're back on track. And today I want to bring up the recent headlines first. We're going to talk about how foreclosure filings are up, how the foreclosure settlement is a huge win for the banks. And then we're going to be discussing with Randy today. He's a longtime investigator and will be sharing with us how to file a notary complaint and the kinds of uses we can hope to get out of it. And again, please understand, nothing is guaranteed, unfortunately, because this is a battle against banksters. But basically, we're hoping to be able to postpone auctions and actually bring this fraud into a tangible reality for the country. So before we start with Randy today, and I apologize again of accidentally having my own live stream open. Okay, tomorrow, if you remember, we've got folks, Stu Nelson and others are down in Williamson County, Texas, and they're going to be sharing with the supervisors their audit that they did of like somewhere around 1,500 foreclosures, finding virtually all of them had forged documents and forged signatures, and Randy's going to show us that today. So here's the article, talks about this is a $1 million revenue loss, and this would just be for the recording fees. This is not revenue loss for the property value destruction, about the people who have lost their homes and jobs, about any of the lost income tax revenue. This is simply about recording. It is truly an outrage. I also wanted to share with you another quick article that foreclosure filings are up. That's last year. Now you notice, I want you to pay attention because last year, and we still hear, oh, prices are up, things are fine, everything is going to be hunky-dory. And yet here, this comes to me as a real estate broker. I get this information. And here they are saying that half of the United States saw an annual increase in the number of the foreclosure-related filings in 2012. And I don't know if you can read it, but you will when you click the link and look at the article. Right here it says, lenders clearing backlogs after robo-signing settlement. What that means is, okay, we got the feds off our back, so boom, away we go. Let's continue to foreclose. And as every one of us already knows, what they're doing is still forging documents. And they call it robo-signing, which is such a dismissive term. I just hate it. Because if they actually called it what it really was, and that is fraudulently signing names that are not their own, perhaps for people that don't even exist, and notaries are actually doing false witness affidavits on these. This is why it's a theft. The people would be outraged if they really knew this is what's going on. And that's our goal today, is to get people to really know what's going on and to get outraged. Here's the article I wanted to emphasize. Recent foreclosure settlement was a big win for the banks. Of course it was. Again, I've said over and over, for an $11 trillion nightmare and loss, the banks are on the hook for, I don't know, $8.5 billion. And you and I already know that, one, it's not coming out of their pockets, and two, it's tax deductible for them. So what difference does it make? They get off virtually scot-free. And besides, they get to continue doing this foreclosing and theft of homes without anyone stopping them. That's why the people have to organize. We have to rise up and stop them. And then I wanted to spend just a couple of minutes. I want you to listen to this video. This is just a few minutes out of this. This is a sheriff in New Hampshire. And this is what we want all of our sheriffs to do.
Hi, good morning. My name is Sheriff Christopher Connolly. I'd like to do a press release from from my office, I am announcing the formation of a task force to investigate mortgage fraud throughout Carroll County. Criminal fraud. There are thousands of property owners throughout the county that may be affected. During the past year, there have been many events that have come to my attention or I have been involved with that affect property owners. Property being foreclosed on that were owned outright, financial institutions that staked claim to a property but did not have a deed, note, or mortgage history, persons who owned property and were told they were in arrears on a mortgage they paid. A common thread in each case is there was no accountability by the financial institution. No one to present a reply to, no decision maker to speak with in each and every case. Last month, I learned 51 banking institutions filed for bankruptcy protection in federal district court on 14 May 2012. Do any of these banks or their constituent banks have property interests in Carroll County? Do Carroll County property owners have an interest as a creditor or an affected party? What have the banks requested relative to mortgages that they present as assets? Additionally, source documents include U.S. Subcommittee report on the financial crisis published in 2011 and continuing, from chaired by Senator Levin, I believe he's out of Michigan. Louisiana parishes have sued for damages under RICO statutes. The same corporations are doing business in this county. The Attorney General of Delaware, son of the Vice President, is seeking damages for destruction of the reliability of public records and deeds. The U.S. Comptroller, representing 14 federal regulatory agencies, issued cease and desist orders to the very organizations that do business in Carroll County. They have seized nothing. The indicators that your title to your property may be subjected to fraud include the following. The property was purchased or financed or refinanced after January 1997. The property was purchased or financed or refinanced after January 1997, and the mortgage servicing company, the company that you direct payments to, has changed. There have been inaccurate inquiries from financial institutions relative to your mortgage. The bottom page of page 1 of your mortgage has the following statement. New Hampshire mortgage, single family, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, uniform instrument, MERS modified.
All right, we're going to stop right there. I'm going to show you what that looks like. But in the meantime, I'm going to introduce Randy Frodsham. He's a longtime investigator and is going to be leading this discussion today about how we get some restitution with notary complaints. Welcome aboard, Randy.
Good morning, CJ. How are you doing?
Oh, just fine. How are you doing?
Better than a lot of people, worse than some. What can I say? What can I say?
Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit, give us a little bit of background, and then we'll jump into the discussion for today.
Okay. Real quick, as far as my background is concerned, I was hired by the state of California. I worked for the California Public Utilities Commission as an investigator for just about 20 years. When we came to a mutual understanding and decided I ought to go into the private sector and get out of the state sector. My mindset was just not with the typical civil servant type mindset that they wanted at the time. During that time period, I did write up and submit to district attorneys, deputy district attorneys across Southern California between 300 and 400 different complaints regarding illegal operations by non-permitted motor carriers. And I had every single one of my reports accepted, and a misdemeanor complaint was filed. I had all but 5 pled guilty at either the arraignment or the pretrial conference. Of the 5 that went to trial, I had 3 jury, 2 by judge. I lost 1 jury trial. So that's basically the track record. It's not a perfect record, but it still is pretty darn good.
All right, it sounds good enough for me. So help us now, Randy. What can we do to fight back against these foreclosures?
Well, I listened very closely to Renee's presentation on Thursday. As a matter of fact, I listened to it several times. And the issue at this point in time relating to what she was going after is that there is no legislation signed into law that allows a county recorder to not accept a properly completed, properly formatted document for recording, or to disallow a document once it's been accepted for recording. So basically, once it's in the public record, it's in the public record, and you're going to have to go to court to get it out. That's going to require real evidence, not hearsay, not conjecture, not a big old question mark. Now, how do you get real evidence? Well, the place you're going to start to go to get real evidence is you're going to have to go to your own county recorder's office. You're going to want to get certified copies, and I'm going to use that word certified several times today because anything else is just a piece of blank paper as far as the court is concerned. And to file a notary complaint, at least to the California Secretary of State, if you include any documents, but Secretary of State requires certified documents. So on some instances, you're going to have to get multiple certified copies. That's an additional expense. Their rules, not mine. That's all I can say. But you want to get certified copies of all the documents that are really recorded against your property. You want your grant deed, you want the foreclosing deed of trust. If you're in foreclosure, if you're not in foreclosure, just get all your deeds of trust. Get your assignments, your substitutions, notice of default, notice of trustee sale. If your property's already sold, notice the trustee's deed upon sale.
And Randy, I just want to point out that what I'm doing now is I've gone to the hofj.org website. I've clicked on, right now we have this information right on the false doc affidavit web page. So if you guys are watching, you can either pause if you're watching later, or right now, even while we're talking, you can go to the computer, get on this web page, and you can follow, because I've linked everything that Renee had from Thursday, and I've linked everything that Randy's given me so far. And so far, I've gotten this list that he just said. Now, I didn't say certified because I'm torn. I'll be really honest with you, Randy.